And I'm telling you, I promise you, this is just as true as it can be. Satan has been working overtime in so many of our lives to make us comfortable here on this earth. He's been working overtime in our lives to help us think that heaven is less than earth, but I'm telling you that heaven is greater than. Heaven is so much greater than this earth. The epic accommodations, the renewed relationships. And here's just one last thing that I have the opportunity to share today, and that is that we will experience perfect peace. Perfect peace. It's hard to imagine, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of almost beyond us to live in a perfectly peaceful place. In Revelation chapter 21, John does his best to try and paint a picture of heaven for us. But I think when he gets to the end, he knows that it's just too much for us to imagine. And in a strange way, I can kind of resonate with John in his attempt to describe heaven. Let me illustrate it like this. I have a friend named Kyle Eidelman, who's a pastor in Kentucky. And Kyle talks about how several years ago he was on a mission trip in Africa, and he had to speak through a translator because people couldn't understand him. Maybe you've had that experience. I've certainly had that experience. And Kyle talks about when he was trying to tell people about the United States of America, basically it was just beyond their ability to understand, beyond their ability to comprehend. I mean, how can a woman who has never used electricity understand the lights in Las Vegas, right? I mean, how do you describe to a guy who has never had a hot shower the pool or the spa that many of us have in our backyard? It's just too great for them to imagine. And what Kyle discovered, and what I have also discovered, is a lot of times you can do a better job of explaining the United States of America by describing what it's not. For instance, if you lived where I lived, you wouldn't have to eat rice every day. If you lived where I lived, you wouldn't have to go without an education. If you lived where I lived, you wouldn't have to walk for hours and hours to get water. You see, what I've learned is I can do a better job sometimes of describing the United States of America by saying what it's not rather than what it is. Now, with that in mind, listen again to the way John describes the heaven that he sees. Revelation chapter 21, verses 3 through 5. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. And they will be his people, and God himself will be their God." By the way, you can get fired up about this if you want to at any moment. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, no more mourning. Are you catching this? No more crying and no more pain, for the old order of things has passed away. He who was seated on the throne said, "I am making everything new." You see, John, what he does, he tries to describe heaven, but he basically comes down to the end, and he helps us understand heaven by describing what it's not, what's not there. He says there's no more death, there's no more mourning, there's no more crying there, there's no more pain. Pretty cool. Which, by the way, and by extension, also means there's no more Advil, right? No more Aleve, no more Tylenol, no more Dayquil, no more NyQuil. There's no more arthritis, no more asthma, no more hospitals, no more ambulances. And some of you are thinking, that's pretty cool, Todd. I mean, those things won't be there. I'd never really thought about that. But could you try and really tell me what heaven is going to be like? Let me give it a shot. No more crime, no more violence, no more lying, no more cheating, no more stealing, no more need to lock your doors or guard your wallet or hide your keys. And some of you are thinking, that's pretty cool. You know what? I can go on if you want me to go on. You want me to go on? How about this? No more half-dressed halftime performances. No more pornographic pop-ups or pay channels. How about this? No more abuse. No more abuse. No more neglect. No more tear-stained divorce papers. Can you imagine that? I mean, just think about that one. Just let that sink in. What if there's no more divorce? No more fractured families. No more broken hearts. No more broken dreams. No more lost jobs. No more lost homes. Your home in heaven isn't going to get foreclosed on. You know why? Because Jesus bought it for you. That's why. There's no more foreclosures in heaven. There's no more lost homes. There's no more lost children. There's no more deaf ears or blind eyes or wheelchairs or crutches or canes. There's no more cancer. No more. No more cancer. No more racism or rape or prejudice. No more jails or prisons or stress or strife. Are you with me, CCV? Let me hear ya. How about this? There's no more shame in your life. There's no more guilt in your life. There's no more embarrassment over past sins in your life. There's no more sons or daughters, moms or dads, aunts or uncles going off to war. How's that sound? There's no more IRS. No more FBI or CIA. No more ABC, NBC, CBS, or CNN. I do, however, know that there will be ESPN there. How about this? No more CCV. You ever thought about that? There won't be any more just CCV like this, because CCV will gather in to this huge chorus of people of every tribe and every tongue and every nation, and we're going to be standing in the throne of God, singing and worshiping Him. And I love those little CCV stickers we put on our car, but there's not going to be little CCV stickers on our heavenly hybrids, friends. It's just going to be Jesus stickers all over the place. And I know some of you are thinking, man, this is cool. I've never thought about heaven like this. But could you just tell me really, what's it gonna be like? Now, listen again to some of these things that my friend Kyle says. He says, imagine no more anxious waiting rooms. No more empty tissue boxes. No more tables for one. No more motionless ultrasounds. No more small caskets. Because He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. It's going to be amazing. And I hope you're fired up about it. Because CCV, listen, Heaven is so much greater than this earth. And I promise you, the shores of heaven are much closer than you think they are. And at any moment, the Holy One could appear. And that day, I'm telling you, is drawing